They say silence is weakness. They say if you don't speak, you're afraid. They say the loudest voice wins. They're wrong. I learned a long time ago that the loudest one in the room isn't the strongest. It's the most desperate. The one who needs to be heard because they can't stand the weight of their own quiet. Me? I don't fear silence. I live in it. I sharpen myself in it. Silence isn't emptiness. It's a forge. It's where storms are born, where wars begin, where revolutions take root. And in my silence, I've built an empire they can't see. But they will feel. I wasn't always like this. Once, I shouted to be noticed. I explained myself to those who had already made up their minds about me. I wasted breath on people who only listened to reply, not to understand. The world taught me. Every betrayal was a teacher. Every disappointment, a lesson. And every time I broke, the cracks whispered something to me. You don't need to explain. You don't need their permission. I realized noise is for the weak. Those who know their worth, they don't need to shout. I've been underestimated. They've mistaken my silence for submission. They've looked at me and thought I was finished. They don't know that silence is where I gather my strength. That while they speak, I study. While they rush, I wait. While they play their games, I learn the rules, and I break them. You can't see a storm when it's building far beyond the horizon. You can't hear an earthquake before it hits, and you can't measure the strength of someone who has mastered the art of patience. I have learned that silence is control. Because when you stop reacting to every word, every insult, every provocation, you win. They can't control you if they can't provoke you. They can't predict you if they can't read you. And they can't stop you if they don't even see you coming. I am not hiding. I am preparing. There's a kind of power in knowing you don't have to prove anything. That you can walk away from noise and leave them wondering what you're thinking. The mind creates more fear in silence than in any shouted threat. I have seen people unravel, not because I fought them, but because I didn't. I said nothing. I gave them nothing to feed on, and in the void of my silence, they heard their own fears echo. Understand this. Silence isn't surrender. Silence isn't weakness. Silence is strategy. It's the breath before the leap, the stillness before the strike, the pause that makes the next note hit harder. It's the reason a sniper doesn't scream before pulling the trigger. It's the reason predators stalk quietly before they pounce. It's the reason kings don't have to raise their voices. Everyone's already listening. I don't need to tell the world who I am. I don't need to broadcast my plans. When I move, they'll know. When I strike, it will be sudden. When I rise, it will be undeniable. And by then, it'll be too late for them to stop me. There's a fire inside me, and I protect it with silence. Because noise lets the wind in. Noise gives away the heat before it's ready. But in the quiet, the fire grows. It builds. It becomes something that can burn through anything in my way. I have no interest in convincing people of my worth. I will show them, not with words, but with results. The truth is, people fear silence. It's the unknown. It's the shadow in the corner they can't explain. And what they can't understand they call dangerous. They should. Because when you master silence, you become unpredictable. When you can sit in your own company, you are untouchable. And when you stop needing noise, you stop needing them. I've learned to walk away from pointless fights, to hold my tongue when the urge to speak burns like fire, not because I can't speak, but because my silence will cut deeper. Words can be argued with. Silence. It leaves them talking to themselves. It leaves them wondering if you're planning, if you're done, if you've already won. I know the world thinks it runs on noise, that the more you say, the more you matter. But look closer. It's always the quiet ones who change the game. It's always the ones who move without announcing it who win the war. History doesn't remember the ones who shouted the loudest. It remembers the ones who acted when the time was right. So I wait. I listen. I prepare. And when my time comes, they will know my name. Not because I screamed it into the wind, but because my silence will have become a storm that no one saw coming. Until then, I'll let them talk. I'll let them guess. I'll let them underestimate me. They won't see me coming. They never do. Because my silence is my power.